a former Trump National Security Council staffer, as well as the special assistant for Asia at the NSC. So thank you both for being with us. You are overly qualified to talk to me. But General, let me start with you. This cost-benefit ratio, when it comes down to defensive weaponry, it doesn't seem economically sustainable. Do you agree?
I agree. And Edie, for years, decades, we've been standing on desks and screaming about this as we wear uniforms. I directed logistics for the European theater for the Defense Department. And I can tell you that if the economics of throwing a $4 million missile at a $20,000 drone will not get you the victory that you want. And we learned this in Ukraine recently, yes, as Europe has basically disarmed itself. We have to get into reform, and then we have to find new ways of fighting, and that is very obvious with the wars that we've seen over the past 6 years.
Yeah, I've been looking for the past week or so at the RUSI, and that is the organization that kind of keeps track of all this, what we have built, what we've bought, what we've sold to other people. Andrew, it seems that the U.S. manufacturing time is kind of part of the problem, and also the ability to mass produce the amount of good enough weapons that are needed. Because, again, we are having to, they shoot up one rocket or one missile. We don't just do one. We do 2 or 3 just to make sure that we actually take it out. So do we have enough of those good enough weapons that we need to continue this fight?
Well, good morning. I certainly think we have some necessary stockpiles for the specific operation, but certainly not for months on end here. This is something that we have multiple weeks of to continue to fire at a high rate. But thankfully, through this operation, we've been able to take out a bunch of different missile launchers and Iran's conventional capabilities to where we've seen a stark decrease in how many missiles Iran can fire. And as a result, that does make it a little easier for us to maintain stockpiles. But make no mistake, I think General Holt is correct. This has been a long-term issue with our defense industrial base, to where not only when we're thinking about Operation Epic Fury, but thinking about other theaters, in particular the Indo-Pacific, to ensure that we have the necessary munitions to ensure that U.S. military deterrence succeeds, and in the event there's some type of conflict scenario, that we can win in any type of conflict. We need the munitions to do that, and the defense industrial base to prioritize timelines and the right platforms and munitions that can ensure that America can meet the demand, not only with our current operation in Iran, but in broader conflicts potentially down the road.
Yeah, and to protect the countries we have said that we would step up to help protect, and everything else, and the amount of weaponry that is also headed to Ukraine. I mean, all these things factor into where this leaves us. You know, I'm looking at these defensive weapons, the THAAD, the ones that the U.S. operates. They say that they will be depleted by April 17th, the number that we have on stock now. The Patriot PAC-2 done by June 15th. So there are some other weapons that we've looked at, because while the missiles, those launchers we may be able to take out, those drones are cheap and easy to hide, and you can fight those, fire those off and really disrupt the trade in the straits pretty quickly and easily. So what type of weaponry do we need to be able to continue, if Iran doesn't stop, to continue sort of degrading their ability to hamper the shipping going through the channel?
We need to shift a lot of resources into laser weaponry. We need to be better at electronic warfare. We're getting into the drone business. We're a little bit behind. Hypersonics on the higher end needs to be invested in. But we've got to reform the entire defense industrial base, and we can't have 6 monopolies that don't service. When you buy a $4 million missile, you buy fat salaries on a board of directors, you buy K Street involvement, you buy a government relations department that outranks and is bigger than their lab technicians and their R&D. You're buying monopolies in their supply chain so that we can have a 100-year-old B-52 bomber. We have to be lean, agile, no more sole source contracting. They have to compete, and little companies have to be shielded as they come up with big innovations in defense.
Yes.
And very parochially said, because I'm standing up a startup, but this is where American defense needs to be, right back to 1776, when we were lean, agile, could move about and shift direction quickly and build quickly.
Yeah, that's certainly what our enemies are doing right now. And so hopefully we're able to learn a lot of lessons from what's happening between Ukraine and Russia, and we can adapt those. General Blaine Holt, thank you so much. Andrew Harding, appreciate your time as well.
Thank you.